I have the contract right here next to mine. This is mine.
Hey, I was taken aback. I was taken aback that I haven't. I didn't, know that we get filmed as a board, but I'm all fine with being filmed.
Okay, good.
So
Because it is our legal right.
absolutely. Well, that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And it's my right. Run, please.
Hey, Debbie, make sure you get my good side if my hair's not right, okay?
Okay, it's faced right on you.
Okay, thanks. Morning.
Do you need hair and makeup done first?
Yeah, I want to make sure I get the makeup done. We're going to get Frank in here and get the meeting started.
Just let you know it's all Mars that we voted on.
Where's the okay, got it. Make sure our cell phones are turned off. 9:01 for late.
He didn't get it from me.
Hey, how you doing? Everybody should have a copy of it. I had copies up here. Management resource partners I have. Not for everybody.
I don't have.
You were texting.
They were right here with my stuff, so let me grab them.
I do not have.
You lived in Rhode
You got one on each. Okay.
What, you need one?
Yeah. I made 8 of them.
There's one around your socks.
Okay, call to order. Meeting call to order, pledge of allegiance, it's 9:02.
What's the rush?
Because the meeting starts at 9.
Richard's got to go to work.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dan Lance,
Here.
Richard Baselli,
Richard Boselli here.
Maureen Jensen here.
Lori Baker here.
Fred Berlinski here.
Cindy Fagan, Perry here. Helen Fleet here.
That's all the board members are here, and also attending Leslie Jacobo, Dave D'Agostino, attorney, Dave Krikorian, our accountant. Safety instructions, exit and exit. Any problems, head for the doors. Discussion and action. Today we're meeting, the one item on the agenda is ratification of engagement agreement for Management Resource Partners, Inc. Gail Corrigan is here representing Management Resource Partners, Inc. All the board members have been given, I brought 8 copies. I don't know if everybody got one from my stuff up here, but I
It would
brought
have been nice to have these ahead of time so we could have read them.
That would have been beautiful.
You could
I
have
agree.
emailed them to us.
Well, we can discuss.
Can we read it? Do we have time to read it?
Oh, absolutely, Cindy. I would never keep you from the ability to do that. We actually just, I printed these this morning.
Seems like we're in an awful rush. Well, we're not in a rush because
No, we're just starting the meeting.
Actually, we've all read it, except for that you were
I
unfortunately.
got a lot of questions to ask.
Came in as
Absolutely.
A lot of questions before the
Take your time
Yeah.
and take,
That's why we brought coffee
We just
and,
have- we just
what was
have
it?
it
How do you
together.
pronounce it? Zeppolas?
Zeppelin.
Zeppelins, okay. We brought
St. Joseph's
Zeppelins
Day.
and coffee so that people would have time to do this.
Actually, the plural one is single. Scottish.
We're going to take 10 minutes, and when you're done reading it, just let us know, please. I did read it already this morning.
Set my tripod. This is You know, I'm ready to fall asleep. I don't get too much of the invested in this place. Kill me in the sleep trap. It's been cold. They were on the state. State levels too. Junior high kid could have been on this boat. That's it. It's not dyslexic, though. That looks good.
Cindy every opportunity.
Yeah.
I just figure somebody's gonna walk in with a collar pretty soon.
No, they're not going to ask for money.
No, me as well, I did read that, not only Cindy, I have to read it as well.
That's good. And Helen as well. Helen is.
Yeah. So everyone's ready?
We were here early, so we read it. I didn't see it before 7:30 this morning.
Yeah.
I'll bet you lunch, 5 to 2 or 3. I'll take a return special.
I'd like to thank you for the coffee this morning, Maureen.
Yes.
That was the Divine Benevolence.
Thank you, Maureen.
Along
Yes,
with
thank you, Maureen.
348,000 calories I just had in that great dessert. My wife will thank you when I get out.
He ate one, though, didn't he?
Oh, no, that
That's how you ate it.
No, that was good. Okay. Okay.
Well, they did that. I'm very pleased.
It's only fair that everybody read it and they'll ask him questions. Huh?
I'll save your seat for you.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Uh-oh, camera operator's leaving, we're in trouble.
She left her pocket. I think she's coming back. This,
If anybody wants a cup of coffee, you're welcome to have a cup of coffee.
this coffee, big jug,
Oh, I thought you were.
anybody?
Cup of Joe.
Captain Landon, coffee?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Fresh start to this. Yeah. I was waiting to go through all the legal files every time I change the sign. It's like, take a big desk and go.
Yeah.
Just got to kind of rough it out, and I'm just curious just to see. Okay.
You know how to go to Dunkin' Donuts and download a copy of the drive-thru? You don't have her? Okay, because I think that would be important for us to.
I have 2014 added, I just need to get 2015
Okay.
to cheap.
Simon?
So far, the PowerPoint, I'm not sure the list of Wilson and the codes, and I don't run the, as long as I know,
Should I sign
I'm
them?
trying to keep up.
Do you want me to sign
I
them?
would really
Okay,
try.
I'm gonna do that.
I'm done, but I have a bunch of questions. Yeah, I have a bunch of questions too.
Are you guys ready to start?
I'm just gonna get my coffee.
Okay.
I need my chair.
Dave, you come along pretty well with our recording?
Yes.
Okay, good. We're waiting just.
Yeah, I'm all set.
Okay, ready to proceed. Basically, just wanted to mention the purpose of going forward now is we've kind of taken the district as far as we can on our own backs and doing what we can with what we have. It's time now to move to the next phase of rebuilding the district, which is implementing controls, procedures, processes, expectations of the personnel, and manuals, procedures for that. So it's time to move to the next level, and that's where we're basically a part-time board. We all have full-time jobs, full-time commitments, run businesses, and so we need to have a professional do these assist us with the next phase. And that's why we looked into a management resource company like Management Resource Partners, Inc., and we've looked at a couple different ideas, perhaps a town manager type person, but they wouldn't be able to give us the ability to build the district. They could manage the district for us, but that would not bring us the skills of putting in all these procedures in place. So that kind of ruled out that would be another temporary position if we went with that type. So that's why you need somebody to come in and actually start professionalizing things. This is, when you've got a very strong union and you've got all this, it's a very difficult place to manage. It's not like just a neighborhood convenience store. So with that in mind, we read through the contract proposal, fiscal and management oversight, the pricing, the additional services, need of additional people, what it would entail, how they would enter into it, and what the contract terms would be. What essentially they will be is taking over the front line of management for us, so that basically we're not having to try to do it in between the rest of our day. With that in mind, I'll entertain questions, and given that you probably have the most, I'd like to maybe start over here. If anybody here has some questions on there they'd like to ask?
What is it, 1B, says the company will manage the sale and any disposal of any assets, obsolete or given assets. Right now, I'm selling the excess equipment, we're not going to give it away.
And you don't have to.
Part of this, Dan, is copy from the Central Falls situation of an overview, but she would definitely be there to assist us, but we would continue the way we're going.
It would be an overview, like
It'd be an overview.
Going through Gov Deals and Craigslist to modify it,
Yeah.
and we would still get rid of it.
You would still be approving
Yeah.
whatever she's recommending.
Well, it's not just me approving, that's why.
Right, exactly. I would be giving us further assistance in the procedure, and perhaps bring in, as we move along, bring in some knowledge from other places that have done the same thing. So it could actually expand on us. We were kind of, having to do with what we had, and, Chief Murray helped us, and, get started. He's the one who brought in Gov Deals, told you about it and stuff, so he was a help, but now we kind of avoid, so that could give you an extra. Put that hands nice to bounce off. Richard?
Yeah, how long is the position going to be? 4 months, 5 months, 8 months?
Well, it's basically a one-year deal, so it's basically a year, subject to renewal if we want.
We have to sign a contract?
Yes, yep,
I love the water.
yes, yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Warren, all set, you ready?
I just want to say this. I want you to understand, I work at least 10 hours a week since October when we first signed on. And I've spent a lot of time in that accounting office and in the tax office. And it lacks a lot of structure, okay? Pam doesn't report all of the money to you every single month, just the checks. She doesn't tell you anything about the credit card money. She doesn't even know who she reports to. So this company would give us an organizational chart. If they're going to give us some recommendations as far as she'll help who we should, positions that we should hire, like the clerk or the treasurer or whatever positions they feel that we could benefit from. They're going to help us implement a payroll system, because you and I both know that we've seen the manual system. It's it's a manual payroll system, and there's no way for the employees to actually look at any standardized reports about their own, about their own time sheets, about what they've done. She's gonna help us implement that, so I don't have to be at the station helping them install or oversee this payroll system. They're gonna help me, I'm signing checks, I'm moving money out of the banks. They're gonna help us. We're still gonna be involved. Anything they put in front of us, this board still gets to vote on. We get to vote on who they hire, the positions they recommend, but they're gonna do some things that alleviate some of the responsibilities that we're trying to handle right now that we can't. The chief, can't handle all the office procedures. He's, like the chief has got to handle them. It's overwhelming for one person to try to do all that. I just want to say that she's going to implement some communication procedures, because right now these guys don't even know who to go to. If they've got a payroll problem, they don't know who to go to. And then the chief is trying to funnel it through him, but he becomes a bottleneck because he doesn't really have the resources to do it. And so she's going to put up some communication. She's going to tell the chief, this is who you'll communicate with on this. And she's going to do the same thing for us. So she's going to give us some structure. That's what it is. It's temporary. It's not a permanent hire. And that's why I'm pro at bringing this company in. We have Leslie leaving. She's going to help cover that position and take care of a lot of the things that Leslie was doing. So that's why right now I'm pro at taking this management. And that's what I want to tell you. I understand that nobody's perfect. Everybody makes mistakes. I've been fired from places before. Everybody learns from it. You move forward, and you get better at what you do. But anybody that she recommends we hire for people, that's up to the board to approve. So she's not going to be hiring anybody that we don't approve or vote on. Okay? So that's all I want to say.
Thank you, Henry.
And excuse me, but that means all the board, not just.
All the
Okay,
entire
and so,
everything we
Everybody.
voted on.
Everybody, and that's been
And
a
so
problem.
Cindy-
and that's what this is.
Cindy was next, Helen, okay, and then you can just make
Yeah,
some.
no, I'm just making a
We're trying
comment.
to keep the meeting under
Oh, don't
control.
worry, it'll be under control.
Thank you very much, Helen.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy?
The question I have is, I think a year is too long,
Okay,
and, she's left, this company has left various companies under not so good conditions, and has ended up suing other companies. I don't want that happening here. If we don't like what she's doing, and we say, you're out of here, I don't expect to get sued because we don't want her service anymore.
So,
Okay.
Ms. Fagan, here I can respond to that. So in that agreement, there is a 30-day clause. So for any reason that the board is not satisfied, this is for 30 days.
okay, thank you.
The other, oh, I got one
No,
more.
no, go ahead.
The other thing is, this says it starts on March 1st. Today is March what? 20th? 19th.
We can prorate it too.
Why was this started on March 1st when we're just discussing it today?
Because we just put this together, we made it March 1st for various reasons. is that the
It
initial-
seems to me it should have
Let me finish
started.
answering or you don't ask me, okay? Okay?
Go ahead.
We made the contract effective March 1st, even though it wasn't going till recently, so that the additional time that's getting involved, and there's going to be a lot of initial time involved today, Sundays, Monday nights, there's going to be a lot of time involved. And so because of all the extra part of it, to make it, instead of charging more for the rest of the month of March, or more for the month of April and May, by making it March 1st payment, we were able to start budgeting, structuring, and leaving an equal amount. So, and
So
then
you've
as you'll
already
notice in
started?
there, the amount goes down after 3 months. There's going to be an enormous amount of work. Part of what happened was, with Leslie leaving, there's even more work thrown on here. I can tell you right now, you can get on your high horse, you can do anything you want. If we don't do something now, the next thing is a key in the door, because there's no one left. And Marie, when she says 10 hours a week, it's more than that, and it certainly is more than that for me. So I'm telling you right now, we either have to do this or just vote to lock the place up, because I have not seen, like when we asked Helen, we said, oh, you want to help? You want to be involved? Sure, come on down the office. She didn't come down.
I came down once.
So, yeah, once. Big whoop. So,
That was
when we look at the whole thing.
excuse
When
me,
we look at the whole
Fred,
thing, yes.
Fred, you don't have to talk to Helen like that.
Okay.
No, and I
When
will
we
not
look-
tolerate
when we look at
Fred,
this, we've
so
gotta do
You
something.
want to overtalk me, go right ahead. I'll overtalk you.
Calm down.
And if you think for
Go
one
ahead,
minute
Cindy.
you're gonna make an ass out of me, you can forget it. Because you're arrogant, okay?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Cindy.
I forgot where I was at.
Oh, okay.
Give me a minute to go over this again. Why is it that it says $9,750 a month on section 2, contract price and payments, and all payments will be due upon receipt of invoices by the board? Why is it 9,000 there and it's 11,000 from March 1st through May 31st?
Okay,
What's the difference?
what I was saying initially is the extra amount of work that's going to be involved to get this started up, and the extra amount of resources that she's going to have to use to get it set up. It actually got changed a little with the idea that Leslie spoke about. And so, although Leslie agreed to stay on part-time to help us with payroll, we're going to have to be shifting more resources than we originally planned. And that's why the initial 90 days will be more work and more resources involved. Don't forget, any extra resources in the contract, they're responsible for, not us. So that's where they came up.
But we're paying them.
Yes,
Correct.
we're to help with the audit.
Correct. It'll be, there's a lot more work initially in the first 90 days.
So what are we actually going to be paying them per month?
$97.50 after the first 3 months.
Where's the 11,000 come in?
The first 3 months.
Through May, April, May.
Okay, yep.
And what is this extra stuff that she's going to be doing?
Having to make sure all this work gets done that Leslie would have been doing, however she gets it done.
And more than that besides, because there's no structure, so the tax office has no idea who they report to. She took off Friday, she takes off whatever day she wants. She plus or nobody. She's, like those, we have to get some kind of structure in place.
If we put down our own structure,
Who's going to manage it? That's the question. She's going to manage it? That's the key. She's going to manage that.
we have, but Maureen, we have rules and regulations
Well, we have nobody
through the
enforcing that.
charter.
We have nobody enforcing it.
Well, the chief should be
Well,
enforcing some of
unfortunately,
this
showed up for
stuff.
4 hours this week.
I got, Cindy, I'm going to tell you, I didn't want to bring it up at today's meeting, but if you want me to, I will. I don't think you want to go there. I think that's going to be something that's for a private meeting that we can set later.
Right, we need
But
to
if you
discuss
want me
that
to go there,
inside.
I will.
Well, that's your
Let me
very limited executive
clarify
session.
the first 3 months. So, my typical hourly rate is 150 to 225. And in terms of an assignment like this, it's very intensive in the beginning. You can imagine, you all have done so much to get us to where we are today. But from what I understand, there's a lot of work to be done to get the standardization, to get this thing built professionally, and to move it to another level where you wouldn't need somebody like me. But you need someone like me in the beginning to get it to where you want to go.
How many fire stations have you managed?
I've managed the city of Central Falls, which included 1 fire station, which had, it's probably about 4 times the size of this district. I managed it for 2 years. The city was in bankruptcy. I was entered into receivership, got it with the bankruptcy, and got it out of the receivership. I negotiated with all the unions. I created the structures. There were certain consolidations I did between fire and police and dispatch and other city departments. So not only did I manage the fire district or the fire department, I also managed every other department in that city. And in terms of fire, I actually took the EMT course, so I'm a little bit familiar with some of the rescue aspects of fire. So it's not a department that I'm not unfamiliar with.
You're also a CPA? Are you
I'm also a CPA certificate and MBA in accounting and financial planning and many other things. Workers' comp and risk management.
Did you give in an RFP?
Yes,
Did you give them an RFP?
I gave a proposal.
Give who?
I gave a proposal, and you're looking at the proposal. And again, this is models after the Central Falls.
Qualifications.
Dave, could you explain this indemnification liability section to me, please?
Sure.
It sounds like double speak to me, that's why I need a clarification.
That's legal speak, so which is often double speak.
That's why I want you to
Yeah.
explain it in plain English, please.
Sure. Basically, the district is responsible for anything that the company does, except if it's fraudulent, gross negligence, or willful misconduct. Essentially, this indemnification is what you currently do for all of your employees now. So it's not an unusual provision to have in a contract where essentially the contractor is acting as basically an employee of the district, although they're not an employee, you're not treating them like an employee financially.
And I just to add also with that, the company does would give a certificate of insurance to Coventry Fire District of workers' comp, employment practices, and professional liability insurances. So not only is there indemnification, but on the company side, the insurances are quite hefty, so that in terms of any, it's a risk management, so that in terms of any potential possibility, there's insurance, and the insurance will cover these aspects. And there's insurance on both sides.
That's essentially what the indemnification is. Like, we have insurance that covers all of our employees now.
Right.
We have all directors and officers liability that covers the board. This is, and the company has all professional insurances as well as workers' comp coverage and so forth.
So if any of their employees mess up, we're not held liable, she is, for her company
Correct. Well,
insurance?
how it would work is their insurance would be primary. We agree to indemnify, but let me just say, if any employee of the district screws up, the district is going to be sued. The question is there appropriate insurance? And I can tell you, there's no question there's going to be insurance. We're not going to get to her insurance, to the district's insurance. There's not. I can tell you, I don't anticipate there will be a problem. This is pretty
Well,
standard.
that's where I'm
Yeah.
questioning. I just want to make sure that whatever insurance she has on her employees covers first,
correct.
not
That's
us. I
absolutely
don't want them
correct.
coming after
No,
us.
that's absolutely correct.
Yeah, so you actually, in this situation, part of the benefit of this agreement is you actually have double insurance, because the district already has insurance, but my company has also insurance, and the primary, as you guys has mentioned, the primary insurance for any my actions and my employees' actions is always on the company.
So I move the questions at the end to a vote.
Ellen,
Oh,
has some
okay.
questions.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Oh, I have a lot of questions.
Ellen's got
Question
questions.
wait.
I do. Okay, we'll start this way. Mr. President, when did you find out about Leslie's departure?
Last week.
Okay, at that point, did you think about informing the rest of the board, since we just found out Wednesday?
I only know for a very short time prior to that, and we were trying to make provisions, and we brought it up at the very next meeting, right after I found out.
It's a 2-week notice.
Well, I had found out through a bank that,
Through who?
through a bank, that they knew already 2 weeks ago. that
Well, I
this
think
was-
you asked me when I found out, and I answered you when I found out.
Okay.
Okay, I was not aware of sooner than that. And so, when I found out, we had our meeting Wednesday, and I let you know. And she's staying a week and starting the other job, and she's gonna stay on. I immediately touched base, and she agreed to stay on part-time so we can keep payroll and personnel, those issues going forward.
So she officially has left Friday, at least that's what she told me.
Technically, yes,
Technically.
yesterday, but she still was coming to the
Okay.
meeting for us today and still doing the clerk things and helping us with the transition.
Okay, I have some security concerns, since Friday was her last official.
Well, no, she's
day.
staying on part-time. She's not gone. She's staying on part-time. She will continue to be employed by us part-time, and she will be continued to doing the payroll and doing clerk work and transition out.
So she's gonna be getting paid.
Absolutely. We have not come to an agreement yet or anything that we can work out, but we intend to do that. This all happened pretty fast. I can say for me, and I did work this week, so I put as much time in this as I possibly could, so we're still going to work on that next week.
Was that discussed with the board?
Not yet, because I still have to find out some things from Leslie as to what she's looking. She's actually, just the fact that she agreed to stay on without a firm commitment on salary shows her commitment to this district. She's done one heck of a job.
Well, according to bylaws 2C,
Mm-hmm.
it states, if you want, I'll read it to you.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
You have it. The president should maintain frequent contact with the chief for the purpose of staying informed of district business and activities. Shall maintain periodic contact with full-time employees. Shall report his or her findings from said contracts to the board of directors. So as soon as you find out anything, we were supposed to know, and we've been asking for executive session.
That's not the stuff that goes on in the executive session
No, but
anyway.
we have been asked, we could have discussed a lot of things, and
Well, we did. We brought it up Wednesday. Very next meeting of after when I found out.
Did you call that on this?
Wait a second. I did call it.
so as far as security concerns, Leslie has all the same codes and keys and so forth and so on. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and she's getting paid, this is not a volunteer basis,
Correct.
and was this discussed with the board? Obviously it wasn't.
What do you mean by discuss with the board?
That she was going to finish on Friday, and that she was going to continue, and we were going to
You know,
pay her.
technically, and I don't mean to be rude, but I'm thinking, Dave, that's not on the agenda. This stuff, this has nothing to do with this contract today, and I don't mean to shut you off. I'm just saying, are we okay discussing this? That's all I'm asking. I'm not doing it to shut you off.
You won't.
But it's not on the agenda. Is it something we can discuss? Because we're now wading into personnel matters of other members of the district.
You shouldn't be discussing it, but I'm gonna, in my opinion, allow Helen some latitude to the extent that it relates to the contractor.
Okay, because again, I'm not trying,
Contract.
Helen, I apologize, I'm not trying to talk you out. I just want to make sure we do this right, especially we're on recording
Oh,
now,
absolutely.
and there's going to be people dissecting, trisecting, and bisecting, so I want to make sure that I stay within the limits of everything we're supposed to do.
And Helen, it was said at the meeting the other night that Friday was going to be her last day, then she agreed to come to the meeting this morning, and that she was going to stay on and help with payroll. So it should be in the minutes from the other night.
Oh, good.
But we won't get those right away, Maureen.
Well,
You can get the recording right away.
I mean, you were there.
But
I go and I took notes, so I know
You
that
take very good notes.
that's in there, I do know that.
we do have the recording, right?
It's recording right now.
Yeah, so we do have the recording, that's always available right away.
But that's on her private phone.
No, that's not the district's,
That's the district's recorder.
Oh, that's the district, oh, I look like a phone.
No,
Sorry.
no, it's the district's recorder.
Okay. I apologize.
Okay, Helen?
Okay, the board of directors shall final approval for the hiring of any and all persons being considered for employment by the district. So of course, we're going to have to take a vote on this.
Correct.
This is not going to work unless we do that. Did you record or did you issue an RFP to her?
No, we did not.
There was no RFP. Okay, well,
There are no.
Wait a second. Better.
that should have been, that's a requirement under circumstances, and that, well, any circumstance should have an RFP. As far as I understand the charter in section CB, the board of directors shall have the power to appoint and/or employ a tax assessor, tax collector, treasurer, clerk, and other committees and/or positions deemed necessary for the efficient operation of the district. So that includes exactly what the role of the management resource partners is supposed to do. Basically, when you read what the board of directors is supposed to do, is what you're given this company to do. That's our job.
No, she reports to us.
I hope so. And we determine the duties, salaries, and wages and benefits, correct?
They're in that.
Right. We got that, I seen it on that other page, right? And this term of the contract is gonna be what? We got it down for a year?
1 year.
With a 30-day write-out.
Did she explain either side if you want 30 days notice?
Okay. Let's see. How about in what shape is our budget?
We're in good shape on the budget. Dave, we'll be going over that action for the meeting Wednesday. It's not on the agenda for tonight.
Okay.
But Dave's been, that's what everybody's been doing. That's what Leslie was really doing a lot. And Marie was actually more than 10 hours a week. You were there 10 hours a day. So working on the budget
How
and
does
getting
this
everything done. And Ginny, just getting the files together so we could actually do it. Again, I said it at the meeting, but things were worse than you can even imagine. And Ginny could share it with you sometime, but today we'll just stick with our agenda.
How does this contract affect our budget if we proceed?
It will be included in our budget that we'll be presenting, that we'll be putting forward next Thursday, and of course into our September budget, it'll be factored in.
All right, and one more thing. When will we see the bank balances and full treasurer's report pages that were missing on Wednesday's meeting?
We'll have that at the next meeting.
And Dave did say that at
Yeah.
the meeting, and that's on record as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, that's it.
Okay. Any other questions came up, Dan?
Yeah, I got one. The contract's per year. Much of this stuff that you have, handbooks, employee handbooks, and that type of design, have already been done. You know, it'll be similar to what the other fire department has. If it takes less than a year,
Then you give the 30-day notice.
okay.
You would be given the 30-day
Either
notice?
one, either
Either
one.
party.
If we felt that we were at that level, we'd do a 30-day notice. Personally, I think it's gonna take a year. But should we get to that point sooner, then we would just do it. Yeah.
We could give her 30-day notice if we feel like she's done everything she could for us.
Yep.
Would you be reporting to us at our regular standard meetings? And then the extra meetings you need to vote on anything that she does, if you have a special meeting, just like we are.
Absolutely. So the model is really like a town manager model, so I would just be a district manager. So in terms of, I'd be expected any questions that you asked or the public asked, I'm expected to know the answers. And I did the same thing for 2 years in St. Paul's. Well aware of what's needed and how to make this successful.
So if she can't do nothing without our vote, right?
Well, yeah, everything's in here, she's gonna be doing it. But as far as anything, hiring people, or buying a truck, or selling a truck, or something like that.
But if you, find stamps, I'm sure you don't want to be.
We're still signing.
And if you're administrative day-to-day stuff, and that's the whole idea, is that you all should be focusing on more the strategic, where do you want this fire district to go? The charter, any sort of, maybe potential consolidations, any sort of strategies that you want in the future. And this will allow you to have that discussion, and I'll be able to present you with the facts and figures and the information for you to make these higher level decisions. And then you won't have to worry about, do you have enough stamps or postage or, whatever, the day-to-day happenings. Because that's the kind of stuff back in here where you all have done just such an amazing job of since October, putting your own time and commitment here is amazing, and now it's really time for you to focus on bigger and better things rather than, payroll.
When it comes to our meetings, will you be providing all of the paperwork that has been generated, having to do with our reports and everything?
Yes, absolutely. So generally what happens is there's a manager's report that would outline everything, and everything that, all the things that have happened, that we provided, it seems like at least a week before the meeting, so you have time to digest it. And also in terms of any things that you want me to work on, I mean, I'm here on your behalf. And so if you want me to work on some sort of, okay, we want to sell this fire truck, we want to buy this fire truck, I can work on those projects. If you want to look at just different, best practices in other districts, we can do that. There's many things we can do, and I'm available. You will all have my cell phone, you can call me 24/7. Obviously, we need protocols that if something really bad happens, and when I mean bad, usually I have a pretty good idea of what bad is. We have a lot of bad things happen in Central Falls, and I'm not going to bother you about the basic rescue run, but I'm going to let you know if something happens right away, that you need to be informed. I don't like the idea of withholding information. I'm very transparent, so it's really the communication between us, and I look at it as the entire board. And just so you know, you are the representatives of the taxpayers. And so when I'm looking at it, I'm actually working for you, but I'm really working for the taxpayers. And one of the things that I'm really looking for in this district is actually reduce your tax rate. And how can that happen? And happen on a 5-year plan. I did a 5-year plan for Central Falls. I'm looking to do a 5-year plan here.
You said you gave us an RFP, and he said he didn't.
I said I gave you a proposal.
But
I was asked for a proposal. In request for proposal, is RFP is request for proposal. So I was asked for a proposal, and I gave a proposal.
I think, can I answer? I think I know what Helen's getting at. You did a proposal, but it didn't go out into the newspaper for proposals to come into us from other companies.
I move the question.
Correct?
to the actual
Yes.
vote.
Correct. No, you're correct.
Yes.
You're correct.
All right, so
Yes. That's
that
just
was,
clarification.
that wasn't done. There was only one proposal given to us.
Correct.
So,
I don't think you're going to get a lot of.
Correct.
Can you put out about
I want to make sure they have, because Cindy and Marie, Cindy and Helen had a lot of questions, and I just want to make sure that they get them answered. And that's why I'm trying to keep from everybody cutting in on each other, okay? So, Maureen, you were saying something next.
And Leslie gave her notice too, so things kind of had to,
that? Right.
we're not
We don't have
prepared,
time
none
to
of us
table
are
it.
prepared to go in there and spend the 10 hours a day. None of us.
Right. We have to hire somebody to handle her responsibilities. We can't table it. We have to vote.
Okay, so,
Otherwise, payroll's not going to happen.
okay, so
generally,
anybody
2 weeks.
like to just go around one more time and make sure? Dan? Anything else?
What's that? What's that?
Almost set.
So, excuse me, Leslie, did you give a 2-week notice?
I don't think that's on the agenda.
It doesn't have to be on the agenda,
If you
that's
want
just
to-
a respectful thing to
You
do.
go through the chair.
2-week notice, this gives people time to cover that spot without being,
We really probably should save some of that, as I just mentioned to Cindy, and that will be an executive session. They will have some personnel discussions going forward, and I apologize, I don't want you to think I'm being rude or talking over, but I'm just recommending that go to that next meeting that we're going to hold, and I'm absolutely certain we'll be able to address that concern. Okay? I'm certain we can.
that's good, and we have been asking for executive session for a long time. It would have settled a lot of this.
Well, a lot of this
today.
stuff can't be
Yeah.
in executive session now, and I've got to stress that because we're not going into executive session if we don't have to. We don't want to be subject to that scrutiny unless it's absolutely essential. And a lot of what you really want to talk about is going to come out in public session.
Personnel.
Yeah, well, certain personnel things can be in private and certain things have to be in public. It doesn't automatically go into private. So, so we have to be very, very careful because we're being watched by every corner.
That's fine, and that's fine to be watched by every corner, but I think following the guidelines and the charter and bylaws is just the right thing to do. That's
why
our
we'll
laws,
have
and we have to go by it.
And we will have public
That's
meetings
like
to
our
do
Bible,
that.
you know, we have to go by those
Yep.
rules and regulations,
Yep.
we can't defer from that.
We will continue to have public meetings that all this can come out. This is a public meeting. It's on tape.
This is public.
and this is stuff we can discuss out here. And we will continue to do that. And we'll make sure that only items which are very limited that can go into executive session will go into executive session.
Yeah.
Very limited. And it's very difficult. You know, a lot of boards get away with a whole lot. Nobody's watching this. We're being watched. So, want to be careful. Anything else, Helen?
No, I think I'm all set.
Okay, with that, the chair will entertain a motion. This is just the board meeting today.
Oh, okay.
This is just the board meeting today.
There's no public comment.
There was no public comment on the agenda.
So I can't ask a question?
This was just a board meeting today.
There was
I'm
no
sorry, but
public
that
comment
was set up.
on Wednesday night, and you
We
entertained
didn't put in any
questions.
public comment today. This was strictly a board meeting today.
But it's an open meeting.
An open board meeting.
But it can be up to the chair to entertain questions, and you're refusing to entertain questions from two taxpayers that are sitting here? I mean, it's a Monday morning meeting.
What would you like to ask, Debbie? I'm not.
Well, Sandy had her hand up first.
I will give both of you.
Okay, Deborah Bacon,
Yes.
CCFD taxpayer.
Yes.
I'm just curious, there's no RFP, so how did this company submit a proposal? And when was that proposal submitted, and who reached out to this company, and when?
After a lot of strong recommendation from people who are very knowledgeable of these type situations. I didn't know this person at all, Dave didn't, but it came from strong recommendations from some very, how would you say, well-informed people. And so we interviewed and we sent out, and that's how we arrived at it. And we have to do something quick. We don't have the luxury of, say, bigger public bodies like the town council. When their town manager leaves, you've got the finance director and the personnel people and the 200 other people, and then you go into a search committee, and we didn't have that luxury.